Okay, so time for a little impromptu video. So I got these FIC boards from this great big haul of Pentium Pro stuff. Uh, 6210s. Brand new in bunk. Now the problem is, because they sat in storage for a while, these little voltage controllers got something heavy stuck on them and they got a little broken off. Now these are LT1587 CTs. There's actually a second one sitting right here. Same chip. So that's a oopsie poopsie. No, they shouldn't have done it like that. It is what it is. So I'm gonna see if I can't just bodge that one back together just to test the board, and we'll get going from that. You should replace this. In fact, if I was putting this into a system, I would actually disconnect this completely, get some nice heavy gauge wire, put it over here, and I'd actually mount this to the ATX tray. Just use an extra pin over here or an extra screw hole, mount it over here, and heat sink it directly to the case. That's just me. That's what I would do. I'd even consider doing it for that one right there. So this is just a 3.3 volt voltage regulator. Most likely it just gives power for these chips here or these here. I don't know why they couldn't get 3.3 volt off of this, that they have to make their own 3.3 volts. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, I'm going to try to bodge this. I can't do this and hold the camera and play with the soldering iron while I'm doing it, so you're just going to have to see the end of my work here. So here it comes. Okay, so just a little quick and dirty with the soldering iron. I don't know how well it's going to come in, but I just tacked the leg on, and it's not moving as much anymore. There's the model LT1587CT. Pro tip, let me get something to point. Little pro tip, you want to take this little heatsink off the device, otherwise it is going to do its job, and it's just going to make it a lot harder to fix it. Now the other two legs look like they're still connected, so I didn't touch them. But this is just a basic 3.3 volt regulator sitting on the board. This is a cheap and easy thing to replace. I looked them up. Exact copies of this chip are $7 on DigiKey, which is kind of pricey. I'm certain if I go and look for alternative from other companies, because this is a big company that made this one in particular, these are high quality ones. Let's phrase it like that. It's not a cheap Chinese part. So anyway, yeah, made the 35th week of 1995. But moving along on the board, I'm going to test it here after I get done. But it gives you CPU speed. If you anything besides 66 megahertz, you're doing it wrong. CPU bus selection. Let's see, what is it? I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 is 200 megahertz. So anything you got less, you can just set it to 3, and you're good. And that is set right there. I'm actually going to try these 1 meg chips, and I'm going to see if it works at 200, 233, and 266. Because I think that, right, yeah, something like that. Anyway, that one looked okay. I'm going to get some chips in this thing, and we'll see if she works. Okay, so I got that little guy set up. Now we're moving along. I got a power supply, just the one that was sitting on my bench. I picked it because it was shiny. I got a pair of 1 meg chips in here. I got my RAMs. I'm looking through my drawer of RAM right now. I'm getting some RAM picked out. These are the new old stock Heatsinks that we have bunches of. Now, those of you may recognize that company that these are from. So these are PC power and cooling heatsinks. But they do not have a standard connector. They got a 4-pin, like you would see on a Pentium 4. Now, inside the package, they came with a couple of these. Well, a pair of these. One adapts this to a seemingly 4-pin connector, and the other one adapts it to a 2-way 4-pin connector. Now these are specifically for the ALRs. The ALR memory boards have provisions for 2 fans per CPU. So they weren't exactly kidding around. Now, before you go, but these will these work on my normal ones? Focus. The answer to your question is yes, they will work just fine. However, you will need to modify them. So you need to take a little small screwdriver, poke them in that little silver thing, and rearrange the wires. Ideally, you would take this one here. No, that's just a single fan. No, is it going to work for both? Yeah, it'll work for both. So this will power both fans with one connector, and you would just modify this one slightly to be this normal 3-pin fan header. So let me grab one of those real quick. Okay, so I don't have one handy, so I'm just going to use my server board as a standard for right now. So that is a standard 4-pin header. You get rid of that little green wire, and it would be a standard 3-pin header. So if you were to use this, you'd have to basically change the black and red, or move the red one over one, put the black where the red was, and then you would have a standard connector. But if I'm looking over here on the other normal ones, the open ones, can't do it through the phone. They fit, so it's a standard connector. You just got to rearrange the pins slightly. So what will happen if you try to plug this into a 3? Nothing. It's not going to burn up your fan or anything like that. There's not enough. The black wire is where the tack pin is. So on a 3-pin system, it's not even going to connect to anything. And so, yeah, so nothing's going to really happen. So basically what you would do, again, you just move the red one position to the right, put the black one where the red was, and then you're good to go. Now if you wanted, and that's if you want to use the standard, if your motherboard has a header connector. Now, that being said, let's move this to the side now. This motherboard doesn't have any fan header connectors. Not a one. So, it will have no idea whatever you plug in. It does have infrared. Whoop-de-doo. So if you have one of those. But no fan headers. Oh wait, no, I take that back. It's got a 2-pin fan header hidden right here. P fan. And there's one up here. P fan. So it will take a little, like this one right here. So I have one of these little fans just like this, just 2-wire fan. This is a 3-pin thingamajigger, but I don't know which one is which. I would have to plug it in, but it plugs in just like that. What you will need to do is take a ohm meter and probe this pin out. One is going to connect to ground. One is going to connect to plus 12 volt. So what I would do is I'd connect one of these probes to whichever one of these pins is ground here, and find out which one is ground, and then you mark it. Unless I find out earlier. Wait, let me have it. Well, it's at least marked. Let's see if it's actually in the manual. It is marked. Okay, so pin 1 is ground, pin 1 is plus 12 volts, pin 2 is ground. So, the pin on the bottom is plus 12, the pin on the bottom is plus 12. So if you have one of these boards, pin yellow, or the red wire goes on the bottom, black wire goes on the top. It should be good. And you got 12 volt. Yeah. How's that for fun? Now, the reason I stopped on the memory thing, I'm having trouble finding, I was going to use these right here. I got a bunch of these from IBM, naturally IBM, 64 meg EDO SIMs. These are nice, powerful little chips, and I was going to use these just to test it. You know, fill it up and see what it works. Then I forgot, these are 3.3 volt SIMs. This is a 5 volt motherboard. So, or at least I saw no indication that you have a choice. And the manual does not state 5 or 3.3 volt. So you will need 5 volt EDO or FPM SIMs. Why do I bring this up? Because I'm used to this board here. This board is the Tyan 1668D. This one has a bunch of these little jumpers right here, right like that one right there. And right here, up here at the top. This will let you choose between 5 volt and 3.3 volt SIMs. So that's why those IBMs will work great in this. They'll burn up in this. Work great in this. Burn up in that. So, if you don't know, usually they're 5 volt. If you want to know and how I found out, what you do is you look up the numbers there. The KM44V16104. Come on now. Yeah, you take that number and look it up, and it will tell you in the data sheet what voltage it's supposed to run at. So, 5 volt, if you can find it. But, yeah, let's get them heat sinks on her. I'm going to get some heat sinks on this guy. I'm going to get some RAM in it. I got one of these new video cards, brand new. S3 Trio 64s. I'm going to slap that in there, and I'm just going to see if it posts. Maybe get to BIOS on this screen right here. So, it'll be just a minute. I'm going to have to set you down before I plug everything together. Okay, I know I said I was going to get it plugged in, but I started going through the RAM pile. I got 4 right there. I started looking through. 16 meg. I was going to slap these in here. They're 3.3 volts. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. Most everything is 5 volt, but yeah, those 3.3s will sneak in, and you just gotta be careful of it. Yeah, I swear to God, I'm getting it together now. Okay, so got them hooked up. I threw a fan on there. A 3-pin fan will fit on that little connector down there. Just make sure, focus right here. Just make sure you get the right ones right. But this little 4-pin will not. Even had to modify my little connectors. So I got a keyboard, I got a video, I got a fan there just to have it. I got a boot compact flash, I got the power supply, I got the power supply connected, I got the monitor turned on, and now normally I would not. I don't know about this memory. This is new memory to me. Normally I wouldn't even bother with a post test to see if to put a heatsink on them. Normally just put your hand on it, give it power, see if it posts, flip it off. This is just to see if it posts. Okay, where's my little screwdriver? And power switch. It lives! It's saying it's 180. That's the correct amount of... What the hell? That's not as much RAM as I put in there. That's the amount of RAM I put in there. 64 megs. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Why is it set to 180? 101 should be anyway, I'll fuck with it in a minute. Keyboard. I don't know if this keyboard's working. It did see Pentium Pro ×2, so let's... I'm going to sit you down for a second. Alrighty, let's try this again. I might have said it wrong again, but here goes nothing. I expected those fans to be screamers, but they're not. They're... Okay, so I set it to 233. This was set to a 60 megahertz frontside bus. Now it's at 266. The keyboard wasn't working, but let's hit delete. Let's see if it registers the USB keyboard I have, because I don't have a... I was looking for that. Okay, so it's not liking this USB keyboard. Hey, once again. Okay, when in doubt, RTFM. I did try 266. It was not having it. So that keyboard was fine. I mean, how often do keyboards go bad? Honestly. But on a hunch, I plugged into the bottom one. Keyboard's in the top. Usually it doesn't matter. Usually it's board's smart enough to... Usually the board's smart enough to know the difference. So, yeah, let's try this one more time. Okay, so I set it back to 233 because why the hell not? Alright, so delete works. F1 works. It's one of these BIOSes. Okay. Let's have a look. See. Is it... I don't have a... Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Let's just... Yeah, it's fine, whatever. Let's focus back over here. Yeah. I don't need it. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so it's not going to let me continue without a battery. Naturally, I don't have a battery handy. I just bought some, too. All I wanted was to test this, and it happens to be one of these asinine ones that has to have a battery. Your sacrifice will not be vain in vain. I'm putting you in storage anyway, so I'm taking the battery out of you. I'm putting it over at you. There, stop bitching. Sit you back over. Yeah. And power. And power. Alright, once again. Quit the memory test, don't care. Run setup, don't care. Yeah, whatever, that's fine. Save and exit. Let's just boot from something. Yeah, that video's a bit better without sound, or with sound. Okay, I got it set to primary save. Don't care about that. Is it going to boot? Is it going to boot? It's going to boot! Let's just do this. Let's see. Let's do that. It did find both CPUs. It is showing. What did I do? Oh, it restarted. These things are not... Okay, so it maybe not just be like in the 233 megahertz. Okay, but yeah, it did... That mem test did see briefly both CPUs. Those fans are not running as fast as I was hoping. Because it is warm. Not hot, but definitely warm. Yeah, so anyway, it works. It works with the 1 meg chips. We are good to go. And we are signing off for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy getting one of these boards when you see them coming up. Bye-bye. Oh, that's nasty. Ew. Ew.